Pretty nice seat. You gonna show me how to make one of these?
That guy is one fine wheeler. That's a nice piece. Welcome to 2+1 Garage today. Well, got the legend Sam Memmolo. We've also got a special guest, Sam Mahdavi, in the house as well.
You know, today we're gonna finish up the rat rod and drive it away.
I'm gonna help these guys do some wiring on the rat rod and hopefully get a ride later.
No, you're gonna get a ride sideways and fast. Stay tuned.
You know, I'll tell you what, you get these rat rods and you see them at shows, sometimes they're not really safe. So we've come a long way with this car. You know, thing is, we got this car as one running unit, we blew it apart. Then what we did was we strengthened the frame. The guy's welds looked cold, had no gussets where it was butt welded. He made some really nice gussets, wrapped around the chassis, welded it all up, framed nice and strong.
I did notice you guys did a wonderful job on the firewall with the steering column and the brake pedal. That looks really nice.
Because you watched every episode.
Every one.
Yeah, well, you know, it's important. Steering, brakes, and chassis. After that, who cares what it looks like?
Good answer.
Yeah, and then, of course, talked me into putting this big motor in this thing.
Well, I tried to talk him into taking the roof off, but that hasn't made it yet. But anyway, off to today. So today we got a seat, a bomber seat from Speedway Motors. We've also got some tracks here. And what I need to do is make some little brackets. We're going to make up a template, make some steel, and get some brackets to get this thing into the car.
Cool.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to install some lighting, headlights, taillights, parking lights, and wire them up and give you some tips on soldering.
Okay, you guys.
What are you doing?
I'll help them. I'll put the radiator and grill in and help them out so we can get the thing done. So let's go to work.
Now I'm going to go ahead and finish up the cooling system by installing the upper radiator hose. You want to make sure in this process that you do use a couple of new radiator clamps so you do get a good seal. And since we have an aluminum radiator in this piece, you want to make sure not to tighten this clamp too much because you will end up crimping the neck. After this, I'm going to fill it up, bleed the system, and I'm going to go out and get ready to wire up my headlights.
That looks good. All right, we got the seat bracket here. Now, this is from Speedway Motors. This is kind of a basic aftermarket race car, hot rod type of deal. It's very inexpensive, very easy to put in and easy to use. And the way this works, if you can see down on this track, pull up on your little lever here, and that's going to allow your seat to move back and forth. Very simple. This locks it in. Now, when you make your brackets, just go ahead and set it in the center. That way you've got some forward adjustment, you've got some rear adjustment, and the way it activates the opposite side is there's a cable that will go across these two. Opposite side works the same, really easy. Now the first thing I like to do is just kind of, you know, get yourself in the car, make sure you got it centered, feel it out, and then I go out in the parking lot and kind of get a general angle of what angle I like. Now this is a really simple angle finder. You can get these anywhere, and we came up with about 10 degrees. So if you put that on here, come up with 10 degrees, now you know kind of what you're looking for. And we transferred it into cardboard, used our 10 degrees, and what this will do is get us your angle, mount our track, mount our piece, very simple, and all I need to do is transfer this into steel, and we'll be ready to go. Should be an easy deal.
Hey, bud, looks like you've come a long way here.
Yes, I have. I've got the cooling system completely done, the fans installed, the radiator hoses are in, we've got the parking lights, headlights in, wiring is done. I've left one wire so I can show a couple tips on soldering. When you're soldering, don't forget your heat shrink for one.
By the way, I've never forgotten heat shrink.
Well, if you do, you will become a better solderer because you have to go back and cut it up and do it all over again.
There you go, done it many times.
You want to strip back a good amount of insulation so that you have a good amount of wire to work with. Twist both ends of the wire. Hopefully your fingers are smaller than mine, and it'll make it a lot easier to solder. Put them in the X pattern, wrap it around each other, and try to keep the wire together and not get it to the insulation. Now you have a good connection right there. Grab your soldering gun, put it on there. You don't want a lot of heat. You don't want it for a big amount of time. Put your solder right there. Once the wire gets hot, it's going to just pull in the solder. There we go. The beauty of the butane torch is it's got a little exhaust where you can take your shrink wrap, put it over the piece, take your exhaust, and shrink it right there.
That's great. Let me try the lights. Let's see how we did here. How's that?
It works. Everything works.
There you go. So, that's a pretty good deal. All we've got left now is to put our tail lights on, and we'll have this thing all set. Right now, we're going to take a break. Stick around. When we come back, Sam and I are going to show you a fun way to dress up a truck. Hey, bud, thanks for coming by and helping me.
Anytime, anytime.
All right, welcome back. Sam and I are out here having some fun dressing up this F-150, making it look great. This is a neat product. This is from ICI Innovative Creations, and it's called U-Cut because you do it yourself. You don't need any special tools. This happens to be a gas tank skin, but they make it in different packages. You can get it for your pillar posts. We're doing the rocker panels here. And of course, what you get in the kit, real neat template material.
Yes.
Comes right in the kit. Put it up there, tape it up. Once you've got it in place, got it square, hold it up with some masking tape or get a friend to help you, and just take and put a mark on it, okay? Then what you do is, and of course I've already marked this one.
And make sure you stand back and you take a look and see if it's straight when you put your masking tape on before you peel it off.
Right. Then fit it back. Make sure it's right before you cut your material. Just lay it on there.
Put your template onto the piece that you want to put on the truck, and it's really easy with this product. All you need is a household scissors, a marker, and you can get this thing done. You draw your line, remove your template, and see how easy it is to cut this stuff. Household scissors, cut right on the line. Make sure it's straight. And there you go. Now you're ready to put the piece back on. And just to show you, this stuff, you can put it really anywhere on the vehicle because you can make such tight radiuses because you can cut it with a pair of scissors, and it comes with a piece of sandpaper where you can take this edge and smooth it out to make it look good. You can put this anywhere on the vehicle.
Right. Now we've got a protective finish over this, but it's got a proprietary UV coating on it and a scratch-resistant coating. So when we peel off the paper and expose it, looks just like polished stainless. Now, if you notice, I was taking an alcohol swab and I wiped this off. I cleaned it first with MEK. First thing you want to do is get all the wax and silicone off, and then when you're through taping things and putting it back, get your rubbing alcohol, wipe it all off, and then we're ready to stick it in place. Now, it has 3M pressure-sensitive adhesive. Remember the stainless ones?
Yes, yes. The stainless ones were a one-time deal. You had to make sure you were perfect because once it was stuck on, that was it. You couldn't peel it back off.
Right. This gives you an opportunity, when you peel this off, this gives you an opportunity to put it on and take it off 2 or 3, 4 times before you go ahead and press it on real tight. So we'll set it up. Once you start there, and then we can get it straight.
Make sure it's really straight, even though you do have a couple opportunities to make sure this is right before you put it on.
I think we're a little high. Yeah. I'll tell you, let me bring this corner in. All right, how's that? That looks great.
That looks good.
And again, just put a little bit of pressure on it. You always want to work from the inside out. You can lift it. Watch. There we go. You'd never be able to do that with the old stuff. All right, then once you've got it where you want, stand back from the truck, look at it, make sure it looks good. How's that look, bud?
A little high on this side, but it's good because all we got to do is peel it off.
You can peel this right off. And look at it. Looks like polished 304 stainless. And again, it's scratch resistant. Once you get it exactly where you want to lower that end of that a little bit?
Yeah, I think we should lower this end a little bit.
Press it in place in 24 hours. It's permanent. This is great for you used car guys. You know, when these door pillars get faded, put the stuff right on, make them look new.
All right, welcome back. Well, we're looking pretty good on our seat brackets here. We're moving along. We started with our pattern. We've moved on to, we've plasma cut these. So we programmed it in the computer. Cuts it out. Then we come in, we'll clean it up some. Put it into the brake. And we end up with a nice piece like that. And what you can see, bolting in through here with our fasteners. We had to shorten them up a little bit. That's looking pretty nice and clean. Now, we just need to get these, mark our holes in the car, get these bolted into the seat. And other than that, ready to put in, piece of cake.
All right, while Fuller's working on these seats, let me show you what we did to quiet these pipes down. You know, these were hollow pipes, really loud. You can get these universal baffles from Heartthrob. You get your baffle, you get these end caps, cut it to length, weld them on. Of course, these caps are the dimension of the inside of the pipe. Put them in there. And of course, you got a batting here that you wrap it with, and you got some steel wool, just like an old glass pack. Put that in there, and that's going to stop all that popping coming out when you decel. And of course, when you got flames coming out, weird things can happen.
I'm on fire! Help me! You're not on fire! You're not on fire! You're not on fire! I'm on fire!
Thought I was on fire. I mean, what can you say to that? I don't know. All right. You look down, we've got this thing bolted into the seat now. This is our handle, activates our track. Now, as this is activating, it's going to pull across this cable. This little cable comes with it too. It's got a nice little spring clip that you pop right on. That will come across to the opposite side, activating it as well. Now, right now, if I was to pull it, one side would go versus the other, but once you get it into the car, obviously it's all locked in. And if you can see, we did this out of 1/8" steel. Now, we did this with a CNC plasma cutter. You could also do this, you know, with a hole saw. You could do it with a band saw. You could do it with any kind of stuff, a plasma by hand. But, you know, 1/8" steel is a pretty good gauge, and we did some nice speed holes just for looks. So this thing's looking pretty cool. Now, on the inside, Sam's working on getting us some seat belts. And how's that coming?
They're coming pretty good. I got these seat belts from Seatbelt Solutions, and I'm looking for a good place to mount them. You got to keep in consideration when doing this that safety comes first. You have to find a good structural place to mount this. You have a lot of metal. If you cannot find anywhere where there is a good structure, you can use a couple of 1/8" plates, sandwich the body, and mount the seatbelt to that. The second thing you need to consider is the angle of the seatbelt, of which one goes around your lap and your shoulder. You want to make sure that you're in the seat and you don't come out of it in case of an accident.
Yeah, when you're getting these, you know, do your research. Doing the seats are very simple. You just need good hardware. You need a good solid mounting location. Make sure that's beefy enough. And then just to be sure that you get the right angle of attack, no matter whether you're doing like, you know, 5-point harness in any kind of car, a race car.
Absolutely.
It's all pretty simple. Do the research and you can figure out what to do.
You guys are making me feel so safe. I can't stand it. And you know, since this car is really channeled down on the chassis, the steel in the floor is real close to the top of the transmission. So what we did, we got ourselves a nice low car shifter. It's a floor mount shifter, bolts right on the floor. You can use a cable or a rod depending on where it lays out in the car. And this thing looks great. Got like a little nostalgia. It's about a 16-inch shifter. It's going to work perfect in this car.
It's got your safety built into it, neutral safety's built right into it.
Yeah.
Super easy to install. We did one of those on the Bel Air too.
Yeah, it's the only way to go when you got a tight car like this.
You ready for to install that seat?
Let's do it. All right, we'll put this little sucker in and hopefully it'll just pop right into its place and what do you know?
Good looking mount.
Ooh, look at that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
How's the angle?
Yeah, everything's good. I gotta put the nuts on, of course.
Yep.
But slide works good.
That's
That
great.
looks nice.
Are we going to keep playing around, or are we actually go drive this thing?
Well, let's see if she fires up. Watch your leg.
Okay, bud, go ahead. Fire it up. Ooh, all right.
I think that baby's gonna go.
We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take this outside and spin the tires. All right, man, bolt that seat up. Let's go. Well, you got brake lights and you got tail lights. What the heck?
Sounds really good, too.
Yeah, it does.
That sound good.
You
this
like
is gonna
it,
be a nice little animal. But, oh, look at those floor mats.
How does rubber rust?
When you can't wear sandals, just get a mat that does.
What do you think, Sam? This come a long way, hasn't
It
it?
has come a long way. It's amazing.
Yeah. You know, the car's nice and safe now. Again, safe chassis, brakes, steering. Not the best looking thing in the world, but, you know, it needs a little bit of work yet.
Well, you know, that was the whole deal with this car. Make it fun to drive, make it safe, make it powerful. But, you know, it's only a short show. We can't spend 8 months of body work filling all these holes, so we're gonna, you know, hand it off to some lucky person who gets to spend that time. And, you know, these are, like Sam said, they're never finished. And if they were finished, what would we do then?
I mean, there's so much you can do to this car. Like, for instance, the roof looks really good, but I personally would probably put a hole down the middle of it because I like the fresh air and the natural rain coming through to cool me off.
Got no door
We
windows.
tried that, but, you know, but somebody did want to, you know, mess up their hair. You know, we tried to cut that top off, but it didn't go.
It's a lot of work. You cut the top off, then you've got a lot of finish work to do around, and I know you can do it. I know you can do it. But, you know, this car ought to go really, really strong.
Speaking of go, I think we have to clean the shop up, don't
Let's
we?
clean
Isn't that
up.
our whole,
That's
what
the
we're
idea,
supposed
moving
to
out
do?
here. Let's clean up. Come on, I'll get you a broom.
All right, let's go.
I can see
We're
that
not
coming.
cleaning up.
Make sure you got enough fuel where you can come back.
Call me when you're done, Sam. Don't kill us.
For more information about anything you've seen on today's show, check out speedtv.com or visit twoguysgarage.com.
I think I scared Sam.
I think so. Sam never came back. Jumped out at the first stoplight. Welcome to the break room. Now, on our website, of course, we've got a segment of Ask the Host. We got a letter here from an email from Fred Johnson. His question for Bryan on TIG welding sheet metal. When you're TIGging auto sheet metal, what size tungsten do you use, and what do you generally set the amperage at?
Well, general rule of thumb is that you take whatever your metal thickness is, you want to use the same diameter tungsten, and you want to use the same diameter TIG rod. So that's kind of a general place to start. Now, a second way, the best way, is to look at a chart like this one from Lincoln, and it'll tell you, this is your gas, this is the size of your tungsten, this is the size of your metal, it'll tell you your flow, it'll tell you your amperage, and it'll give you all the settings in order to set it to. Now, you're always going to play with a little bit here or there for your personal speed and whatever, but that's the way to start.
A little practice make a great welder out of you. First product we have here is really a neat thing for your shop. It's the MX200 waste oil heater.
Yeah, this is from Lanier, and this is a great way to get free heat. I mean, you know, we're always getting rid of oil. You're always taking it down to somebody. You have to pay one of your guys to take it to a recycling place. And this is a great way to get free heat from something you already have in your shop.
Instant saving. You know, heat's a necessity when it's cold out, and burning used oil is a free form of energy. It offers a return on investment somewhere 12 to 18 months, and you get your money back.
Yeah, this is EPA approved. All Lanier heaters are UL safety listed, so you can feel comfortable that, one, it's going to be a safe product to put in your shop, and that your oil is going to be properly disposed of.
Yeah, it's a great way to dispose of oil, because you have to store waste oil, then transport it. No matter how careful you are, you're always going to have a mess, you're always going to have a spill. This is EPA approved. You burn it, dispose of it right on site. It's a great way to go. And like you said, you know, these things are UL approved. It's a great way to heat your shop without having to import energy.
Lanier waste oil heaters, the MX200.
Right. Here's something I put on my four-wheel drive. It immediately stopped the problem you have with the hubs coming loose, and boy, nothing worse than your wheels coming off on a 4x4. This is from Stage 8. It's their X-Lock. It's a locking fastener system. Neat product.
Yeah, these look complicated, but anything you want to make sure you have a nut that you don't want to come off. Right. Just like you said, if you're rock crawling, a wheel running down the hill is not going to be a cool thing.
This is interchangeable with the stock replacement Dana spindle nut. The X-Lock installs without aggravation, and once the preload is set, the spindle nut is easily locked the first time, guaranteed to stay locked, by the way. The wheels are not coming off. These things don't fail.
Yeah, if you look at this, they look pretty complicated, but you see the simple, on this one, there's a 6-stage instruction. It's really easy, just follow the instructions, put it in, and it's guaranteed you're never going to lose this nut.
You can put this in most kinds without even having to take the wheel or the tire off. And 2 part numbers, 2 different sizes, cover all of your Dana axles, your 30s, your 35s, your 44s, your 60s, your 70s. And the Stage 8 lock system complements the float-to-hub assembly used on the heavier duty front end and drives, especially like the military ones. And of course, this provides peace of mind. When you're a weekend rock crawler, a 4-wheel driver, you're an off-road guy, the wheels aren't going to come off. It's a great product.
Guaranteed to stay locked. Stage 8 X-Lock.
There you go. Now, if you're staying with a 4x4, if you got a Dodge 4x4, you know what a problem the track bar is. This is from Rare Parts Incorporated. This is their Dodge track bar. This piece is beefy.
I barely get that thing over here.
Yeah, really. Now, you can look right here. Hold that up for me, buddy. This is the factory one. And you can see, first of all, it's pretty wimpy. When you look at the amount of angle it has, the Rare Parts has 13 degrees more angle, so it's not going to tug on it as much. It really does a great job.
Yeah, it's got a 40% increase in surface in here as well. It makes it a lot stronger. Now, if you don't know what a track bar is what holds your front end, kind of like a panhard bar in the rear. Right. It's what holds your front end from going left or right. So this is an integral part, especially in off-roading. Now, when you lift a truck, you're going to lift that thing. It can, because of the angle change, it's going to pull that front end over to the side.
Right.
The factory is not adjustable. This is an adjustable piece.
Yep, and Rare Parts did such a good job of beefing this thing up, okay? They had to go to the other end of the track bar, and they put a hydrometer bushing in here. This goes onto the chassis. This end goes onto the differential of the housing. So again, you can adjust it. When you lift your truck, you can put your front end right back in the middle where it belongs. It does a great job. It's rugged. It's not going to wear out. Remember, from Rare Parts, it's a great way to go.
You can tell by looking at that.
Their Dodge
and
track
lifting
bar.
it. Whoa.
Now, air conditioning. You know, when you got air conditioning problems, and you know, 3 or 4 days, 5 days down the road, the car was blowing cold, now it's blowing warm, you got a leak, you got to fix the refrigerant leak. Here's a great way to go. From wholesale parts and tools. It's called the FJC Quick Seal Stop Leak.
Yeah, this is great for the do-it-yourselfer or the professional technician. It's going to create a permanent seal in rubber, in metal, basically just about anywhere in your system. If you've got a slow leak, this is going to be able to seal it, make a permanent seal.
Yep. When you buy this can, you don't need to get any tools. It comes with a 134A quick connect, got the hose, everything you need to install it. Now, it's not going to seal a leak in a compressor shaft seal. So if your compressor shaft seal is leaking, you're going to have to fix that. This stuff, by the way, does a great job, and it's not going to hurt your sensitive AC recycling system because it's not going to harden.
Yeah, this will fix most leaks that are taking, 4 days or so to leak down.
Right.
This should cure your problem.
For something you can do yourself, wholesale parts and tools, FJC Quick Seal Stop Leak. It's a great way to fix up your air conditioner. Well, I hope you had some fun watching us get the rat rod running and donuting.
It's been a pleasure, Sam.
It's been great. Thanks. We'll see you next time here at Two Guys Garage.
See you guys.
Now, you're going to give me an opportunity to drive it?
Of course. It's yours.